Hello everybody and welcome back to another episode of the Points of Articulation. My name's Dave, and if you're new to the channel, welcome. Today we're looking at the Star Wars Armada Imperial Raider expansion pack. Now, the Raider class Corvette was actually made by Fantasy Flight Games, who made Armada and also X-Wing, among other tabletop games, but then got swept up in the actual canon. It was in the novels Thrawn, Inferno Squadron, in the video game Star Wars Battlefront 2, and also it's in the graveyard scenes in The Force Awakens, so this baby has come a long way. And I'm glad it did. It's a cool looking design, sort of a mixture between a Star Destroyer and the wings of a TIE Interceptor. Very neat. Now, in the video game Star Wars Battlefront 2, you play as a member of Inferno Squadron, and their whole group rides in this little ship here. And it's cool. It's like a little command center, hyperspaces to planet, dropping off the troops to do their mission, and then they run away to their next mission. And another reason why I like it so much is because growing up, to me, the Imperial Navy was just Star Destroyers and Super Star Destroyers. That's it. Unless you read the Expanded Universe novels and whatnot. But now, because of the Clone Wars and Rebels, we're getting a lot more Imperial ships, and I hope they keep making more. So for the size of this particular model, we're looking at 2¼ inches long, which is pretty nice. And we do have a lot to cover. We're going to look at some tokens, cards, put on a stand, look at the mold, the paint, compare it, and then we'll be done. So let's get moving. And now for the dial and token roll call. 1 command dial, 1 speed dial, 4 command tokens, 3 defense tokens, 5 victory tokens, 5 objective tokens, 3 ship ID tokens, and finally 2 squadron ID tokens. So that does it for the dials and tokens, so now let's take a look at the cards. Alright, for the first ship card, we have the Raider 1 class Corvette. Very cool picture. 4 health, 2 black anti-squadron die, 1 command, 1 squadron, 2 engineering. Now for its arcs, it's a lot of blue and black. Pretty even for the most part. 2 shields. All the turning, well, speed I should say. It's upgrade slots, and it costs 44 points. For the second ship card, we have the Raider 2 class Corvette. I love this photo here with some A-wings. Pretty awesome. Again, 4 health, blue and black anti-squadron die this time. 1 command, 1 squadron, 2 engineering. And then over here, 2 shield. And now it's more blue this time in the front arc. 3 blue, 1 black instead of the 2 and 2. And then for the most part, it's just the same. You can see here. So that's pretty neat. Underneath, we got some more upgrades. And it costs 48 points. Very nice ships. I would definitely use a bunch of these for anti-squadron, close range, getting in there and just wiping everything out. Again, like I always say, the cool thing about this is you can customize these ships any way you want with those upgrade cards, which we'll get to soon. So you could have a small fleet full of these things and use them to protect your larger ships against fighters and little cruisers or whatnot. Awesome stuff here, really, when you think about it. So let's get right to the upgrade cards now. Okay, for the upgrade cards, like always, I'll read the names of the cards, look at the photos, and then if you would like to pause the video and read the paragraph, go right ahead, and then you continue when you're done. So up first, we have Admiral Ozzel. He says, clumsy as he is, stupid. Admiral Montferrat. Ordnance experts, quad laser turrets, SW7 ion batteries, rapid reload, ship title Instigator, and finally ship title Impetuous, and I hope I said that right. So that does it for the ship cards and upgrade cards. So now let's take a look at the stand and that beautiful ship. Now for the stand, each video I go over it, so I'm just going to do it briefly this time. You get this nice clear acrylic plastic base, shield dials which are already assembled, they spin, and you just put a little button underneath to hold them in. To assemble the stand, you take your ship card, let's go with the Raider 1, put it on like so, then you're going to take your stand right here, or I should say pylon, lock it in, you can see it right there, and now for the ships, this one uses a tiny little peg. You can see it right there. Now, it's stressing right here. So, take my advice, be gentle with it. Don't push too hard, because these will break. And then, once you have it on, you're good to go. Alright, looking at the mold of this beauty, as you can tell, it is very small, but it is jam-packed full of detail. First of all, we have our bridge right here, which is raised up a little bit. We have little missile pods and turbo lasers, 4 of them right here. and then 2 in the back. I don't think there's any visible on the bottom. No. But besides those weapon pods, we have a lot of nice details in trenches, modules. Pretty amazing stuff. Coming back, we have our engine. Look at that. Big, nicely detailed around, recessed. 2 mini engines. Pretty cool. Now, I will have to say, I hope they make the Rebellion version of this when they join the Rebellion in the video game. Spoiler alert. Underneath, we have the main engine going down. Some nice details back here. I love the shape of this. Pretty sick. Now, we do have the wing on the bottom. Very TIE Interceptor-ish. Nicely detailed. And then we have I like to call it the trench that runs down the side of the ship. Just look at all that. For the size, that is fantastic. And then looking at this side, just amazing. Really. Now for the wings, they look pretty good. They're basically similar to this, just a little different design. But well done. Now it is very fragile. As you can see, it's only really connected right at the tip right here, and it kind of hangs off. So if you get one of these, just be careful. It's not really a toy. Looking at the front profile, just look how neat that looks, like a Predator. You can see all the little spikes from the wings. Just amazing. Beautiful ship. Now before I finish, I thought I'd get nice and close for all you detail junkies. And just look at all that. Amazing. Here we have our weapons pods. Just fantastic stuff. For the underneath, look at that. Beautiful. Nice shapes, very angular. We got our wings. Look at that. Beautiful stuff. Especially this one on the bottom. It's pretty sharp. Coming down for the engines. Just amazing. Look at all that stuff. Top again. Let's check out the engine. Has like a little hood back here too. How cool is that? Pretty awesome. I love this ship a lot. I think it's a nice addition to the collection as well. So that does it for the mold. So now let's take a look at the paint. Alright, looking at the paint, it may be small, but it does have a very beautiful job on here. Main color is a nice light gray, and that's over the whole vessel, and I think they did a decent job with that. Now for the next color, we have dark gray on different panels on here. On the bottom, you can see it on the engine, and these tiny little engines above my thumbs. And on the main engine right here. So that's pretty cool. Now the next color we have is black, and that's for these wings here, which is pretty sick. I think that's very neat. The wing on the bottom, and also the wing right here. Pretty cool. Now there is a little black on here. See how it has gray on the engine, but there's black on the inside. And it kind of carries over into the recess of the engine. So that's pretty sharp. And speaking of the engine, we have a nice sky blue in there, which is awesome. I love when they paint the engines. Now the final color, you guessed it, black wash. And it fills in all these little crevices, and it makes this ship pop. Just look at all that. Fantastic stuff, it really is. I get a kick out of when they use the black wash right. And everything just shows up. Just a fantastic ship. Beautiful. So that does it for the mold and the paint. So now let's put this baby back on the stand and compare it to some other ships. Alright, for a little size comparison with the Imperial Raider, I have it next to the CR-90, the Corellian Corvette. And over here I have it next to the Imperial Star Destroyer. And you can see how giant this is and how it dwarfs the smaller ships. And that does it today for my review of the Star Wars Armada Imperial Raider Expansion Pack. Now again, this was made by Fantasy Flight Games for their Armada and X-Wing tabletop game, but later on, it was incorporated into video games, novels, and even appeared as scrap in The Force Awakens on Jakku. And for its size, it's 2¼ inches long, which is nice. We don't get a lot of smaller Imperial vessels, so it's cool always to get something new and fresh into the game. So I already explained why I like this ship in the beginning. To me, the Imperial Navy was always larger ships, so it's always cool to see something new, but still seem like it blends in, and this does a decent job. It's got the wedge shape we all know and love, modified a little bit, it has some teeth, and I love the wings on it. Very tight, interceptor-ish. It just screams Empire, and I love the design quite a bit. So why is this expansion pretty cool? You get your dials and tokens, which you could add to your collection to use while playing. And you can't forget about those cards, 2 ship cards and 8 upgrade cards. And the cool thing about upgrade cards is, you don't just have to use the ones that come in the pack. You could use any other ship card from any other set, as long as it doesn't say you have to use it with blank. And I love that idea. Pardon the phrase, but you could pimp these bad boys out. If you want extra shields or engines or firepower, or to have some extra skill with ion cannons or something like that, you could do it as long as it fits in the upgrade slot, and to me that blows my mind, and I love the customability of this. And now let's talk about the ship itself. Beautifully detailed, tons and tons of stuff, weapons pods, little panel lines, the winds, the engines. I really like this ship quite a bit. Paint, spot on, nice and clean. As you can tell just by looking at it, it's almost perfect. Now, a minor note I will have to say is these are very delicate. You know, they're made out of acrylic plastic, they're not die cast, and these little winds, they will bend. And the only issue I have with this, because I'm very careful regardless, but it's on this tiny little peg, and I had the same issue with the CR-90 and the Nebulon B frigate. It's just the nature of the beast. I wish they had stronger stands, but it is what it is. So I recommend be gentle, be patient. Don't get these for little kids. Trust me, they will snap these things. So if you're looking to buy this ship, I would recommend going on eBay, Amazon, Barnes & Noble has them sometimes. They run you around $20 here or there. But like I always say, shop around, get one cheaper. Save yourself some money. So I recommend this ship for anybody who's a player of Armada or a collector of Imperial ships. This is a nice one, and it will stand out in your collection. Also, if you're a fan of Star Wars Battlefront 2, grab this. The ship is in there, and it's awesome. So that's everything I have to say about this beautiful ship today. I hope you enjoyed my review. If you did, hit that like button. If you'd like to see new reviews every Thursday, subscribe. Again, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye, everybody.